When you first kind of think about your integration, really focusing on the requirements for you as a business and how complex are those needs. A lot of times what we find is a business might come to us and say, hey, I need to integrate A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then we dive a little deeper into the why behind that. And then they realize, you know what, I actually only need to do A and B. So understanding that will really reduce or refine kind of what that complexity of needs are. As I mentioned in the iPad slide, if you come to it and say, hey, I need HubSpot and NetSuite, but I also need 3 other endpoints of data to really help me with my marketing campaigns and these different use cases. Those are things that you really want to consider on the complexity of need side. And then for every business, you really have to consider the resource availability. Do you have people who are working for you as contractors, full-time employees? Are they in the engineering space, or are these data analysts, or just accounting, finance people? So considering your resources and who's going to own this is extremely important, because again, someone who is installing the Suite app or the HubSpot data sync in NetSuite, that could be, a CFO, that could be a controller who is administrated on the NetSuite side. But someone who's dealing with the iPaaS platform, it's probably more of a data analyst or a systems administrator. So those are things that you really need to consider as a business of who you want to hire, because not every business wants to grow the IT department, right? They might want to outsource that. The third one here on the budget side, just as important as everything else, right? How much do you want to spend? When it comes to iPaaS systems, the cost there can balloon pretty quickly if you're thinking bigger picture, right? You're not just talking about 2 endpoint integration. You might be looking at 10, 15, 20. So understanding what your one-time fees are versus subscription fees are extremely important. And that's where the custom integrations sometimes, have a benefit, because you're not necessarily paying these recurring subscription fees from an integration perspective on the product subscriptions. You might have an engineer who can build it and have that solution sustained for several years to come. And then the other things are looking at scalability. How fast is your business and your systems growing? The benefit, again, of the pre-built solutions is you have these other partners and companies who are well-versed at building these apps, but they're also managing and maintaining these apps for you. In today's world, APIs are refreshing constantly. You can see Shopify's change logs, like every 3 months, there's something new. Every developer then needs to catch up to that. So scalability is very, very important, something to consider. And then lastly, data sync requirements. How often do you need that data going back and forth? A lot of business use cases don't require you to have a daily sync or even an hourly sync. You might be able to get away with syncing once a week or once a month. Going back to that beginning bullet point of complexity of needs, driving home what your requirements are and really focusing on that will help you understand, how often do you need to sync data? And then from there, you can dive into which integration path is best for you.